Let me ask you something, and let's be honest with one another. If you removed the urgency from your business, if you remove the pressure to prove, and if you remove the voice that says, you should be further along by now, would you still be building in the way that you're building? Would you still launch like that? Show up like that? Push like that? I'm Sarah Sparks, your Chief Soul Strategist. I work with soul-led entrepreneurs, visionaries, mentors, coaches who know they're here for impact. They have a calling, but refuse to build their legacy from depletion. Today, we're talking about what it actually means to lead from soul instead of pressure. Because from the outside, they look identical. Oh, goodness. I know. But internally, they're completely different nervous system capacity. Pressure doesn't disappear just because you're mission driven. In fact, sometimes it gets stronger. It sounds like I'm meant for more. I have to make this work. If I don't show up constantly, I'll lose momentum. My clients need me. This launch has to be a success or I've failed at my vision. Holy buckets. I thought all of those thoughts at one time until my need to prove dissipated. Pressure can absolutely build momentum. It can fill programs, create revenue spikes, generate urgency, force visibility. All of that builds from contraction. Pressure-led entrepreneurship feels like creating content from anxiety, launching from proving energy, serving from obligation instead of overflow, hitting a revenue goal and feeling relief instead of expansion. There's emotion that creeps up when I share this with you in that precise way, because that is how I operated my business until Divine said, Sarah, you need to divorce the old way of doing business, the old way of living. That relief that you feel is a clue. When you hit that income goal, that revenue goal, and feeling that relief instead of expansion, that relief is a clue. It means your body is bracing. And eventually, even visionary leaders burn out when everything is built from brace energy. You procrastinate, you avoid being seen, you reset your own business, you question your calling, not because you're off path, because your nervous system is tired of surviving your success. It's tired of doing business in the way that you've been doing it. Soul-led is not soft. It's not slow. It's not passive. It's not only work when you feel aligned. Soul-led leadership is regulated leadership. It means you create from clarity, not from irrelevance. You launch because it's time, not because you're panicking. You rest without believing that you're falling behind. And you scale without abandoning yourself. There's a steadiness. Your ambition is still there, but it's clean. Soul-led expansion feels like grounded growth, aligned offers, clear messaging, boundaries that protect your energy. It feels powerful, not frantic. Let's make this practical. All right? You with me? You with me so far? So pressure says, if this mastermind doesn't fill, I'm not as powerful as what I thought. My goodness. Yeah, I said those. Have you ever thought those? But soul says, this container is true. I will steward it well, and the right people will feel it. Now, pressure says, I need to post every day or the algorithm is going to forget me. Yet soul says, my message carries weight when I am regulated. I don't need to chase visibility. Pressure says, if I slow down, my income will drop. Soul says, if I burn out, everything will destabilize. Pressure builds income fast. It's true. I am not at all denying that pressure has a place, but I don't think that it's aligned with you, because soul and soul-led entrepreneurs want to build income that stays. So soul builds income that stays. Many soul-led entrepreneurs grew up in environments where performance equaled love, responsibility equaled safety, achievement equaled worth. So your nervous system learned push equals survival, achieve equals belonging, lead equals carry everything. But now you have a calling. You have a divine assignment, but your body still associates slowing down with danger. So even when you're aligned spiritually, you're dysregulated physiologically. That's why you can know your purpose and still feel anxious running it. Let's ground into this thought, right? Leadership from soul is not being in your feelings all the time. It's not internal safety. It's the ability to pause before reacting, discern before deciding, hold space without collapsing. Soul-led leadership requires a nervous system that is not constantly scanning for threat. Pressure-led leadership runs on internal alarm. Pressure-led leadership runs on internal alarm. And yes, you can build a following from that alarm, but you cannot build a legacy from it. And I know that's why you're here. Here's what matters most. Pressure, wealth fluctuates. Big launch, exhaustion, pullback, revenue dip, panic, push again. It's a cycle. Soul wealth stabilizes because it's built from aligned identity, knowing who you are, why you're here, and acting from that space. Soul wealth stabilizes because of regulated expansion and clear capacity to hold what it is that you are building. When you lead from soul, you don't say yes to every collaboration. You don't over-deliver to prove your value. You don't undercharge from fear. You don't overwork to validate your success. Your growth becomes intentional, and intentional growth, that compounds. So let me ask you something. I'm going to invite you to reflect on this. If you removed fear of being judged, being forgotten, not scaling fast enough, not living up to your potential, how would you build your business in the next 12 weeks, 3 months, in this quarter? What would you stop doing? What would you protect? That gap is the difference between pressure and soul. When I speak about soul in business, I'm not talking about performative spirituality. I'm talking about integration. I work with visionaries and mentors to regulate their nervous system, align identity with expansion, increase their capacity to hold income, visibility, and responsibility. This is not body work. This is leadership embodiment. It's aligning the soul of your business with the business of your soul, so your success no longer costs you your nervous system, because when your internal state and external growth are coherent, pressure dissolves and your leadership matures. Pressure can build a season. Soul builds a movement, and I know that you are here to build that movement. Pressure asks, how fast can I grow? Soul says, how clean can I lead? And leaders who will last, this is something that divine has been telling me, and I absolutely know it with every fiber of my being. The leaders who will last in 2026 and beyond will be the ones who will choose wholeness over urgency. And if this resonates, stay with me. You'll find more teachings, reflections, and ways to work together in the description below. Until next time, lead whole.